Welcome to New Mommy at 40, a honest, informative, and non-judgmental podcast for those navigating to and through parenthood in their 40s. And today's episode is a short and sweet one because it's a celebration. New Mommy at 40 is officially 1 year old, a little late on mommy's part here because I forgot to celebrate it. But we've officially surpassed the number of episodes from last season. So I wanted to say thank you by talking about some of your favorite episodes and making some space for you to tell me what you'd like to chat about going forward. And you know what to do by now. Follow, subscribe, wherever you're listening to this so you don't miss a single episode. All right, let's get into it. It didn't happen in my 20s. Who cares? Now I've got all this fancy wisdom to share. Hey, I've got this baby, you're getting the best of me, cause I'm a new mommy at 40. Hello, I'm Victoria Latour Dunker. If you're new here, welcome to New Mommy at 40 podcast. And for all of my regular listeners, welcome back. And this is about you, just thanking you for supporting this past year and a half. I can't believe it's been that long, but it has. And I couldn't have done it without you. So I thought it'd be fun to go down memory lane and look at your favorite episodes from season 1 and season 2. And then I'd love for you to take the time and email me or DM me on Instagram to let me know what you think. If you agree with this top 5 or the top 5 of each season. And I'd love to hear your feedback. There's a new feature on this platform with Spotify where you can actually leave me a voice message. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, or if you're not, if you want to leave me a message, you can do so by going to the Spotify platform and doing so there. It's a great tool to hear directly from you. But again, if you're more comfortable with info@newmommyat40.com or Instagram or Facebook, please go ahead and let me know what you think there. So we're going to start with season 1's top 5, and we'll start obviously with 5. And let's see if you have if you're surprised by what I share, and I'd love to hear your feedback. So number 5. This episode was a tough one because it was really divulging a lot of information about myself, which is very funny for me to say that as if it was an issue, because that's the whole reason why I wanted to start this podcast, was to share my story, my truths of being an older mom and my ups and downs of fertility, all of that. But then when I sat down in front of the mic, I thought, how do I want to do this? Where do I start? And do people really want to hear this? So I sat down and I decided to do it kind of like a story format. And I've received, good and negative or constructive criticism about that format. But I did it, and it was a really great purge of emotion, and just felt like I was really sharing myself. So number 5 was, do I really want another baby? In this episode, I talk about basically how my husband and I met and what led us to even start a family in our 40s, because I thought that ship had passed and I didn't think I would meet anyone who would want to have any children, yet someone who already had children. So I talk about that and how we got to the place of starting our family and the ups and downs of that, and how we discovered along the way of there being a fertility issue, which we decided to combat with reproductive or assisted reproductive technology with IVF. So that is number 5. Number 4 makes me smile because it's of a dear couple friend of mine who spoke about keeping the spark after getting married and having a baby. And they're Kurt and Catherine Beeg. And the episode, so number 4 of season 1, was keeping the spark after 40 and baby, with dating and relationship coach Catherine Beeg and game designer Kurt Beeg. So I loved this episode because they were so candid about their relationship, which they're both very hands-on with their child, Coda, who's adorable. And as you would expect, right? That's not necessarily anything new, but what I love is their dedication to each other and making time for each person to grow, making space, deliberate time for them to come together, acknowledging both of their strengths and stepping up when the other needs that little lift, and respecting the fact that they are still individuals. And they share a lot of great tips in what they do in their marriage and their family relationship to just keep the spark while they're watching this little one grow. It's just a really great episode. So I definitely recommend that you listen to that one if you haven't. Number 3 was an episode that aired during Black Maternal Health Week. And it was a very touching, disturbing, important story to share of a woman who I've known from a former career, Tara Udovic, who shared of her story of delivering her child and literally being violated by her OB, who wasn't her scheduled OB, I should say, in such a way that just makes your heart ache for her, truly. But her ability to rise past that, share her story as a cautionary tale for anyone listening, whether you're Black or not. If you are someone who has given birth or will be giving birth, you have to listen to this episode just so that you're able to advocate for yourself in that delivery room. It's just a really touching episode, and I want to thank Tara again for taking that time to do that. And shout out also to my friend Deneen Saccone, whose story was featured in the part 2 airing of our Black Maternal Health Week focused episode. So please listen to her story as well. Number 2 of our list from season 1 is the incredible, triumphant story of Joanna Mendoza Chancay, whose wish was upon turning 40 that she was going to be popping out a baby one way or another. And my girl Jo got it done, but could not have prepared herself for what was next, which was having a baby in the height of COVID, in a coma, and not being able to meet the child that she so prayed for and planned for until weeks later, and both of them struggling for their lives. It is quite the story. It is, though, very victorious. And I encourage you to listen to her story. If you're looking for some hope and some inspiration, Jo is it. Thank you again, Jo, for contributing to the podcast. Number 1 happens to be the very first episode of New Mommy at 40 with my friend Tangi Garcia, who contributed in a major way in talking about basically the ups and downs of having children at this age. And it was called Thriving Through Motherhood When the Rainbow Ain't Enough. I think that says it all just from the title. But what I loved about this episode was it was really candid. You'll hear the mistakes here and there of, a first-time podcaster like myself. But what I love about it is, even with its mistakes, and it's pretty long, but it's you don't even realize the time has flown by because the conversation is just so authentic between two friends, is the candor. I love the honesty. It really encapsulates what I wanted for this podcast, which was to talk about the beautiful aspects of motherhood, how badly we both wanted to have a child, what we went through to have our rainbow children, and to also discuss the aspects that aren't that easy. What was hard? What is hard? What are we navigating? Identity, time for each other, and your body, what it goes through. Just having a really great conversation about the non-glamorous life that motherhood can be, but it's definitely a rewarding one. So that rounds out season 1. So I'd love to hear from you what you think about that roundup. If there's an episode that is missing that you really enjoyed, please let us know. Or if you agree with the order of what I've just said, tell me what you loved about those episodes. I'd love to hear your feedback. Now, so far for season 2, and I still have quite a few episodes left, so this might be a little preliminary, but I thought it would be fun to share. So for season 2, we've really tried to bring you some subject matter experts along with stories, but I'm starting to miss the stories, and I want to know how you feel about it, because I definitely have more to air. But you seem to really like the subject matter experts as well. So I'm glad that I incorporated that into season 2. And I'd like to just kind of give you an idea so far of what has been popping for you all. So now season 2 is still airing, and we still have quite a few episodes to air. But I want to take the time to just give you an idea of what has been hitting home for you, most of you. So let's see if you'll agree. So far, number 5 for season 2 is an episode called How to Tell Your Friends Struggling with Infertility Issues That You're Pregnant. Now, this episode was inspired by a personal experience of mine with a dear sister friend who was sharing of her pregnancy. And during the share, I just remember thinking, wow, there might be people out there who just don't know how to handle this and are probably trying to figure out how to hold space for their friend that they love that has had issues, but still holding space for this joyous occasion and this moment in their lives. So I decided to do some research. I'm part of a lot of groups on Facebook for infertility and older moms. And I combined kind of what I saw from people's stories that did not go so well on both sides, where both sides felt they had their foots in their mouths. Some didn't quite recover. Some had high expectations of the other and just didn't know how to just come from a place and space of love and this, really delicate conversation. So that's how this episode came about. So I'm glad that has resonated for you so far. Number 4 is one of our first subject matter experts this season, Juliana Avella, who is a holistic fertility coach. And in this episode, we speak about holistic ways to achieve, to improve our fertility, but most importantly, how to still put ourselves first when we're going through this process, because it gets lost in the shuffle of the calendars and the timers and, ovulation kits and all of this stuff. And this episode was entitled Beyond Baby Making Mode, How Holistic Fertility Coach Juliana Avella is helping women in their 40s to design their fertility journey and still put themselves first. The third most popular episode this season is one with a dear friend of mine who gives us a great perspective of motherhood in your 40s from your 50s, with now a teenager in her arms. And it was called A Reflection of Becoming a Mother at 40 with Tamara Montana. I love this episode so dearly because not only is she a really good friend of mine, I think, You wonder when you have, that's Kari yawning in the back. Say hi. You wonder when you have a child at this age, sometimes what the relationship would be like in just a few years. And just looking at Kari now, I'm trying to imagine what that's like what that will be like when she's a preteen. Listening to her tell or share what a great relationship she has with her child, all that she's been able to pour into her because of the wisdom that she had and the life experiences that she's lived and all the places that they travel, just gave me a lot of ideas and inspiration for my own relationship with my daughter. And I hope it does the same for you. It seems like it is because it's doing really, really well. And that's number 3. Can you say number 2, Kari? Say number 2.
Number 2.
Thank you. Number 2 on our list is an episode I did with the talented Kelly Stewart, actress, writer, producer, fertility advocate Kelly Stewart, is Should You Freeze Your Eggs? Actress and fertility advocate Kelly Stewart shares why she decided to invest in herself and her future children. So I don't need to go further into what that episode is about. But what I will say is it makes you rethink your relationships, especially in your 30s, because you will not waste your time, your precious egg time, in a relationship that's not going anywhere. It is a PSA for our sister friends here, our friends here who are in their 30s. Take heed. Look at yourself and ask yourself, is this relationship going somewhere? Because you're giving your best baby years. And as Kalei would say, you're not just giving away your time, your effort. As she said, you're giving away your biology to this person. So make sure you're in something that you feel is going somewhere. And if not, or whether it is, if maybe you're in an amazing relationship, it just makes you think about, what do I want in the future? How do I ensure that I also get what I want, which is to be a mom, to be a parent? And look into egg freezing. There's an option out there for everyone. It's something I really wish I had done. And it's our little love letter to you from your aunties, for those of you who are younger. But, we're not there yet. And number 2, that was number 2. And number 1, can you say number 1, Kari?
Number 1.
What?
Number 1.
Number 1 is a tie. It's a tie. And they are, so far, it's, drum roll please, finding balance in all aspects of your life as a single mom with Nicole Cruz, host of Badass Moms podcast and super busy mommy coach, and manifesting pregnancy and postpartum wellness in your mind, body, and spirit with Tony Strong of Strong Family Wellness. Both amazing episodes. First one I mentioned with Nicole Cruz, which was finding balance in all aspects of your life, is another, I think it's the key, right? These candid conversations that talk about the ups, the downs, the mistakes, the things we wish we knew, the things that we push through in order to get to the other side and learn from. And that's what I love about Nicole's episode, because she literally found herself suddenly divorced. No one gets into a marriage to get divorced, with a young child, and financially had always been the most sound or stable partner anyway. But now doing it completely on her own was a challenge. But her son is thriving. She is thriving. And she's just so positive and offers such great affirmations and advice. I really hope, if you haven't listened to it, that you give it a shot. And I know for those who obviously love it, that you got something out of it. Even my dad, this was the first episode he listened to, and he's like, I love Nicole. So um, I'm thankful to her for contributing to this season. And Tony Strong of Strong Family Wellness, her episode of manifesting pregnancy and postpartum wellness is such a good one. And we've been friends for an extremely long time now. And she's been my personal coach in getting well after all the IVF rounds and miscarriages. And she and her husband, Earl, have completely made me over, I think, from inside and out. And I can't thank them enough. So that is the top 5 of season 2. So what do you think? Do you agree? Is there an episode missing that resonated with you more? What did you like about these? Please go into the Spotify app, the Spotify platform. Leave me a voice message. DM me on Instagram or email me at info@newmommy40.com. I can't wait to hear your feedback. And we are getting close to the end of season 2. I'm going to go ahead and take a summer break like I did before, just to rejuvenate, take some time with the kiddo. But I do really look forward to getting your feedback so I know what you want to see more of. Do we like the personal stories? Are there particular subject matter experts that you'd like to hear more from? I can't wait to hear. So on behalf of my family and I, especially this little nugget, we want to say thank you for supporting us. We hope that you keep listening. And like always, follow, subscribe wherever you're listening to this. And take care of yourself and each other. Bye for now. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. I love you, Chloe. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.